What's up, my people? It's your boy, Mr. Retro Reviews here, and today we're going to be taking a look at my top 10 figures of the year. So, it's been a long year, some good stuff, some bad stuff. We've got a bunch of good releases, and I'm here to share my top 10 picks with you all. My favorites, this is my opinion. A lot of things go into account when it comes to this top 10 list. My connection to the characters, how much I love the figure, etc. All that good stuff. So I'm gonna start this video off with my honorable mentions. So we're gonna start with no other than Long Shot. He was a 2023 release, and I must say this guy is a very good Marvel Legend. He is one of the best X-Men figures released this year, and I think like in terms of quality, it's a high quality Marvel Legend. This is what Marvel Legends should be. I feel like he is the X-Men equivalent of the Marvel Legends Black Widow that we got. So I feel like this is the equivalent of that. Maybe if he had just like a little bit more articulation in the torso and then butterfly joints, and like yes, but otherwise he comes with like the accessories that he needs. But he's totally one of my favorite X-Men figures. Next, we got Star-Lord. This is a very good one in my opinion. But then again, I don't know much about this version of Star-Lord. And I saw a cool picture of him on Instagram. It was an Alex Ross cover art that had this Star-Lord. It had the Drax from the 2-pack, classic Rocket Raccoon, classic Groot, all that good stuff. So that is like a lineup that I would like to complete in the near future, going into 2024. Now let's look at Bishop. I think Bishop is one of those gems that came out this year. Like he's He's like one of the best X-Men figures released this year also. But the reason why he's an honorable mention is because I think he hits like everything. I think like from the articulation to the paint, sculpt, everything. I think he hits those areas, but just like some of the other 97 figures, if he had the classic Jim Lee curly styled mullet head of hair or whatever, then like he would have totally he would have totally made it on my top 10. Like the only thing that holds this figure back is the head sculpt. If it was like the classic comic style Jim Lee uh curly mullet thing, then yeah, I think he would have most definitely been on my top 10. Let's see, who should we go? Okay, we'll take a look at Sasuke. Sasuke, he is another good one. He's a dope SHF, but I think where he fell short is that I don't like how big the hands are. I mean, once you have them in person, they aren't that noticeable, but they're still quite big. And I hate how short he is compared to Naruto. I think that that's really the drawback for me, because even when they're posed up, you can still tell that Sasuke is shorter than Naruto, or at least smaller than Naruto. So hopefully whenever they redo this guy or they make another Sasuke, that he is the same height as Naruto. We can go to the next figure. Let's go to Jiraiya. Jiraiya, in my opinion, he is a very good Naruto SHF. I think this mold still holds up in some areas. In some cases, it does not. What kept this figure from being on my top 10 was really just I don't like how these shoulders are, and I don't like how I have to swap the pads out on all the different hands. So that kind of blows. And maybe that he has a tough time standing at times, which can get annoying. But for me, it's mainly these shoulders, how the shoulder and butterfly engineering is. That's really just it. But everything else is pretty, solid on this guy. I hate that I keep losing focus. It's because there's so many figures in the background that, it keeps capturing what's in the back. So, yeah. That's what held Jiraiya back for me. But aside from that, once we got the updated paint, the shading, and the colors and all that, he does fit nicely with the new remastered 3.0 Naruto stuff. But just put him to the side. Next is Casey Jones. I think this is a very solid figure, but the same problems that I have with him is going to be the same problems that I have with Zog really is really just the fact good figure, nice accessories, nice paint, decent articulation, but I just enjoy playing with the turtles a lot more compared to these two. But they're still solid pieces to collect, and I would totally recommend that you pick them up if you haven't already. So yeah, I think Casey Jones is a pretty solid figure. I prefer this version of the figure compared to the gray shirt, and I wanted this original, red crop top looking one with the blue jeans and the white sneaks. Next, we might as well go ahead and take a look at Armada Megs. Uh, there's only two things that held this back for me from being, on the top 10, and it was really just he doesn't have the Decepticon logo on the center of his chest, and I do not like how the shoulders operate. You can get an upgrade kit to fix this, but it's like some stuff should have already been engineered with the figure rather than us having to buy third party pieces. But that's just how it is. You usually have to buy an upgrade kit to make these transformers appear how they should have came straight from the factory. Sadly, that's the reality that we live in, but hey, it is what it is. But other than those gripes, I think this is an excellent figure. Should you wait for it to go on sale if you are planning on picking this up? I would say yes. It's not worth the full price, but since I am an Armada fan, I went ahead and bought it when it first dropped. So now let's grab this Optimus Prime. This is the Black Mamba KO, but it's the same mold as the actual uh studio series. So the same problem I had with Megs is literally this. Uh it was near perfection. It was so close to perfection, but the problem is, I don't like the legs. Uh these get in the way. Just a few things here and there, and you have to buy a third-party upgrade kit to fix all the issues that you might have with this figure, whether it's the smokestacks, whether it's the shins right here where the pegs are at and all that. You have to buy an upgrade kit to just fix everything that is wrong with this dude, and those upgrade kits can sometimes be expensive. So that's why he didn't make it. To get the definitive live action uh Nightverse Prime, Beverse Prime, I don't know what we're calling it now, but to get that definitive version of Optimus Prime, you have to go through a load of upgrade kits to put this guy up to standard of how he should have been. And honestly, if I would have got the Studio Series Scourge, he would have made it in the honorable mentions as well, due to that same reason, having to buy upgrade kits to make him closer to his CGI model when it should have been like that out of, from factory. Next, we're gonna take a look at Zog. Same thing with Casey Jones. Cool figure, nice paint, decent articulation. Very stunning to the eye. I like the comic book cell shading to it and all that. But the issue is, I just enjoy playing with the Ninja Turtles more. I just love posing those figures more. My next NECA cop for Mirage Turtles, it might end up being Splinter, just to go ahead and complete that family. And hopefully April comes out, or she's shown soon, the one with the blue jumpsuit on. So hopefully we get a reissue of that or a remake of that sometime soon. But as far as Zog is concerned, yeah, cool figure, love the paint, love the articulation, love everything about it. But I just enjoy playing with the Ninja Turtles more. Then that brings us to our last honorable mention. It's the AMK model Primal. So my only issue with this figure is that I just prefer the Studio Series one because I think the Studio Series one is a mix of both articulation and being able to transform. And the main place where the AMK model wins is that it has the mouth guard over the mouth. And I think having the transformation in there just adds more play factor into the whole, figure. And that's really just it. But as far as like, articulation and all that is concerned, he has the double jointed elbows. He has the diaphragm joint. He has the drop down hips. The, you know, more than 90 at the knee. Uh, so like, yeah, he is well articulated. He is a fun action figure. Even though these are model kits, he's not like your standard model kit. It's like a fun action figure. And I will get around to reviewing these AMK model kits. But I will tell you guys this: if I had got Scourge in, if I would have gotten Scourge or Cheetor in before the end of the year, I feel like Scourge would have had like the highest uh chance at being on my top 10. I think he most definitely would have made it on my top 10 list. So, yes, that's it for the honorable mentions. Now we're going to get into the actual top 10 figures of the year. But before we get into that, let me just tell you guys this. This isn't in any sort of order from least to greatest or nothing like that. I love these figures. Point blank period. I just love these figures. There's no greatest to least, least to greatest. It's just my top five, the top 10 figures of the year. Okay, so I just wanted to make that notice. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the top 10 figures of this year for me. So first on my list, we have the TMNT 4-pack that came out this year. It was a Target exclusive. I had to pick up mine on the aftermarket. It was like what, $20-$30 more than the retail price, which I wasn't really gonna complain about that. And I wasn't willing to wait all the way until like what did they say? March? January, March. It was like what, March or April for the reissue on the NECA site, and I wasn't willing to wait that long. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and drop the money on these figures. I hear that they're worth it, so I'm gonna go ahead and just drop the money on them. Uh, like I said in the honorable mentions, I enjoy playing with these and posing these more than Casey Jones and Zog, and they've just been a fun experience. I think that they give me so much nostalgia. They remind me of the 2003 Turtles when it comes to like their build and the way that they look. It's just like it's giving me those 2003 cartoon vibes. And if we do get an accessory pack that has the colored bandanas, then I will be getting those. Or if they release another 4-pack where they do have the colored bandanas, then I will be getting that set. I think NECA is going in the correct direction when it comes to these Mirage Turtles and the line as a whole. And I just hope that they keep pushing forward with this line. I think this line and the last Ronin line from them has been like my favorite Ninja Turtle lines that they've been producing. Aside from the 1990 movies, of course, like the movie stuff is it's dope. It's a dope collection, a collection that I hope to fill out and have every figure eventually. Right? I think all of us turtle fans are wanting that. But as far as like the comic book stuff goes, I am very much satisfied with the products that I have been buying, and I have to thank NECA for a very fun year. So, yep, this is the first figure on the list, and now let's go to the second. These technically count as both 2 and 3. So I'm gonna do some of them by ones and some of them, by twos. But I think it will mainly depend on if they're like in the same line or not. But in this case, they are part of the same line. We got the best One Piece action figure line to date. The Variable Action Heroes, made by Mega House, owned by Bandai. The Variable Action Heroes, Zoro and Porcus the Ace. These are some of the best imports I've ever had. I really love these figures. I could never get my hands on them before because I just didn't know where to buy them for a nice, price. Then I found a site. It's been so useful. And I have yet to pick up Sanji, Sabo, and Luffy. I need to get around to doing that. But with the two offerings that I have here, Ace, Zoro, they're amazing. They are literally amazing. The SHF One Piece stuff cannot compare to these two figures, bro. Ace alone solos that whole SHF lineup. This Zoro is a lot better than that SHF Zoro. These figures are peak. They come with a lot of accessories. They come with multiple heads. The articulation is amazing. It's everything you could ever want for these One Piece characters. Zoro doesn't come with any effects, but Ace does though. He comes with flame effects. He comes with flame effects, so you can show off his powers. And if you want to add more flame effects, then Sabo comes with some flame effects, and you can also buy the the Tamashi fire effect stage thing. And yeah, there's nothing much I could say except if you can get these figures for a good price, I recommend that you buy them. You hop on that train, buy them, because somebody's gonna come along, snag up that deal, and you're gonna be looking at $300 a piece for these two figures. So yes, no means to trash on the SHF One Piece line, but Mega House knows how to do it. They've been doing it for years. I totally recommend the Variable Action Heroes line to any One Piece fan. So yeah, now let's move on to the next. For the fourth figure on our list, we have the on our list, I meant my list. We have the Armada Optimus Prime from the Legacy lineup, and I was going to put him in here with his, super mode configuration, but that would have taken up too much room. So we're just gonna be looking at base Prime here, and just even if this base Prime was just released on his own, it's still a great figure. This and the super mode, they both make for great figures, and it's almost sometimes to a point where I wish I would have bought a second Armada Prime so I can have one in super mode and one in base mode. And so it's one of them regrets, like, dang, bro, I should have bought two. I should have been like smart enough and bought two. But for what I just have here, man, this is one dope piece. It's a lot better than the Megatron, in my opinion. It's a lot better than Starscream. I think this is the best Armada figure overall. And then the second greatest would probably be that PulseCon Hot Shot, which I still need to get. I need to get that. I love that colorway for Hot Shot. It's peak. But looking at Prom here, man, it's great. It it's great. It's a amazing piece. It's an amazing figure. If you can get it for a decent price, I totally recommend that you hop on it, pause, and buy this figure. I mean, like, come on, bro. It even has a matrix chamber. Whoa, that's the key to his spark, bro. Slow down. It even has a matrix chamber. Like, I love that Optimus Primes are getting matrix chambers now. Like, I used to I used to scream over that when it came to like larger figures and masterpiece figures, because I'm like, oh my gosh, bro. The Matrix Chamber feature is so amazing. And now we're getting it on all the Voyagers now. And it's just Hasbro has come so far when it comes to, Optimus Primes. Totally one of the best Primes ever that they've made, and I totally recommend that you get it, like I said. And yeah. The only downside to it that I can think of is that, like, it's peak, right? But then, like, people make upgrade kits to make it even more accurate to the source material, and giving the super mode articulated fingers, adding gap fillers where there needs to be, and even leg extensions to make this guy just a little bit taller, like how he was in the anime. So yeah, so just straight out of box, he's a fun pose and play figure. You got the double jointed elbows. Oops, one of his blasters came off. Embarrassing. He has the double jointed elbows and everything. So expect a review on this guy. Also, I wish I would have had it in my stockpile already, but I guess it'll just be something that I have to work on after this video goes up. So yeah, that's it for this one. Now let's go to our fifth one. For the next figure in the top 10, I'm gonna have to go with the boy Toto, because honestly, I was not expecting for us to get Toto anytime soon when it came to the JJK line. Uh, it sucks for me because when it came to collecting imports, I was mainly on the domestic side of things, so I didn't really lend my money to import related figures or lines. And it's really towards like near the end of the year where I really started to get imports, which is why uh I have a lot of them now. I'm just looking back at my shelf to, reminiscing a little bit. But I finally got Gojo in the other day too, and that was a really nice figure. I'm There was a mishap with the soft rubber on the stomach piece, so I do have a replacement coming in, and so that's going to be nice. But back to Toto here, man. It's a very solid piece. Uh, I love the articulation. Like, even for a big dude, he does have like a decent amount of range. He's one of the goated JJK figure arts released. I would probably, just going by looks alone, I probably would have went with Gato if only they did the elbows better. Because if you look at Obito from the Naruto line, his elbow joints were engineered a lot better compared to Gato's. I don't know why they did the whole Optimus Primal syndrome to where the joint is at the front of the bicep instead of being connected near the back of the bicep. I don't know why they did it like that. I find it so weird that they engineered it like that. And then when you have Yuta, they basically utilize like a big like round ball joint sort of peg, and they pegged it in the middle so that it looks a lot more seamless than whatever Gato's is. I don't know why they designed Gato's the way that they did. If they designed it better, then I'm pretty sure I would have bought Gato a lot sooner, and he probably would have been on this list. But as far as like just looking at Toto, man, the accessories, the face sculpts, the paint, he had shading all throughout his physique. It's an accurate figure, man. It's one of the best, and I mean that wholeheartedly. It's one of the best that Tamashi has released this year, and it's goaded, bro. It's goaded. And like I said, it's like the articulation, bro. I'm not gonna show too much because I do plan on reviewing this guy, but he's just he's just a fun figure to pose. He's a fun figure to pose, and he's very photogenic. So, yep, that's all I have to say about Toto. I'm gonna leave the rest for the reviews. And so now let's go on to our sixth figure. Now, when it comes to our sixth figure, I have to give it to Obito Uchiha. Man, I remember when the Naruto line first launched back in the day. I was a little kid back then. I had Naruto and Sasuke. I believe I had Minato and Rock Lee, and that was it. I never got around to getting Gaara. I never got around to getting Kakashi. I never got around to getting Madara. And I never even got around to getting that Itachi and Sasuke from the versus battle that they had in the anime and manga. So I was just left with those. And ever since and like back then, bro, when I was seeing like customs upon customs being made, and I saw uh Obito, I saw Pain, a bunch of people making customs with the parts that we had access to back then. And I'm just like, man, I hope Tamashi makes an official Obito. Like, that's one of my wants from a Naruto line. And after so many years, in the current year of 2023, we finally have Obito Uchiha in the flesh. And it met my expectations. It has a lot of accessories. They did not slack when it comes to the accessories, and the articulation is still up there. The head articulation might be a little limited, but everything else is, it's pretty dope. The arms can still move, higher than horizontal. You still got, the rotation in the arms. You still have the butterfly. Butterfly, bro. You still have the bicep. Then, yeah, you have the butterfly joints. Then you still have the double jointed knee. Double jointed knee. I'm getting so excited to the point I'm forgetting basic English and anatomy for action figures. Double elbow. You have the double elbow. So this figure, man, it met my expectations. I'm glad that after all these years, my wish list has been answered, as I'm sure everybody else was wanting Obito also. Our wish list has been answered, and we have finally received Obito Uchiha. So, yes, now on to the seventh figure of this list. For the seventh figure of this list, I am going to give it to the SHF 2099 Miguel O'Hara. And what is I'm running into like a lot of the same things that I have with the previous figures. What more can I say about this? It's perfection. It is greatness. It's spectacular. It's amazing. Sensational. There's a lot of things about this piece that I enjoy, from the sculpt to the articulation to the look, the accessories, everything. And the only thing that I could say that would have made this figure pop off is if they had a wash of like orange through like these lines. Like if they would have panel lined the red with an orange color, that would have like set it off entirely. because if you watch the movie, he does have like an orange glow in between like the different circuitry of the red portions. So it would have been nice if we got that level of paint. And the only QC that I have with mine is that you probably can't see it, but they missed some red here in the corner of the lens, but you can't really see that if he's looking forward. And so, yeah, this is one of my favorite pieces that I picked up towards the end of the year. And yeah, so now let's move on to the next figure in the list. Now we have Ryu in the 8th spot. And this figure was a lot more than what I expected. I kept hearing such great things about Jada Toys, from the uh monsters, the Universal Monster stuff, to Street Fighter, and I hear even Mega Man is a goated now. So I have been tempted to go back and pick up some of those Universal Monster figures, and to pick up majority of the Street Fighter line, and even maybe even that Mega Man line. So for my first experience with this Jada Toys product, Ryu, uh, it lived up to the hype in my opinion. I mean, this guy has butterfly joints. He has the double joints, man. You can get him into like a decent amount of like fighting poses. Like, he's just an awesome figure. Now, if Bandai America could replicate this and use this for their Tekken figures, or even their anime heroes line or whatever, like, they would have a lot more fans in my opinion. The only issue that I could say that I have with this figure is the fact that this belt is molded in white and then painted black, when it should have just been molded in black to begin with, and then have the kanji logos on that side of the tassel. So yeah, like, this is an amazing piece, and he comes with the accessories that he needs. He comes with the Hadoken and the Hadoken hands, and then he has the angered expression. And another thing about this thing is the presentation that it has when it's in box, because it has that arcade cabinet aesthetic to the packaging, and I think that is like one of the, like, let's get one thing. Jada Toys has like some of the best looking packaging in the game. Game is game, bro. I can respect that. It's very pleasing to the eye. When you go into Target and you go into like the collectible section and you see that junk right there, bro, it's like, eye catching. You know what I'm saying? So I think Jada Toys deserves their flowers. I mean, I think they've been getting their flowers already as is, from all the fans that have been loving the Street Fighter line, the Mega Man line, and the Universal Monsters line. So I just want to give them their flowers too, from myself to them. And Jada Toys, keep up the good work. And man, I'm just loving what y'all putting out. So now let's get on to the 9th figure in the list. Now, I'm not even gonna lie with y'all about this one. I'm gonna kind of BS it right here, because these three DC Multiverse figures, for starters, I'm gonna just say that I feel like McFarlane, they do get their flowers, but like, they are underrated and they are underappreciated to a certain degree. Because just like Marvel Select, the one thing that I can appreciate about these figures is that they are usually new sculpts majority of the time, and they are usually painted quite well, and they have extra paint details that you don't see other companies doing, at least domestic companies. And so I would say Firestorm, Nightfall Batman, and Hawkman here have been like my favorite releases of theirs this year. So instead of just having them, take up a spot, I'm gonna have them share this, spot. I'm gonna have them shared because they're all equally good. I love all three of these figures. These are probably like my favorite DC Multiverse figures released this year, aside from a few others like the Donna Troy. I wish that I could have got the Wonder Woman in hand before the end of this year. And, we have classic Superman right around the corner to scale with this Batman and to scale with that Wonder Woman. And we're getting Red Tornado. We're getting all these dope DC characters. And if you're like me, you love DC Multiverse from McFarlane, you love the DC Universe Classics, you love the Mafex DC stuff, you're just a big, fan of all of these products. You're just a big fan of DC overall, Marvel, whichever it may be. You just love these, you just love everybody's take on something, bro. You just love it. And that's one thing I can say, Multiverse is very affordable. Todd is actually putting effort in these sculpts. They look good most of the time. I know articulation can be a little bit iffy, but at least you can see like there's effort being put somewhere in these products, and that's like one of my favorite things about you know Todd McFarlane having this DC license. I hope he never loses the license. I'm glad that he's renewing. I have been slacking a little bit on DC Multiverse this year. I want Black Lightning. I want Captain Atom. I want the Target exclusive Blue Beetle. There's a bunch of figures that I still need to pick up that Todd has made, Anti Monitor and all that. And I just think these three figures are like goated. So I think, like I said, Todd did a very good job with these products. And what else can I say? Uh, Firestorm comes with a lot of accessories. Hawkman comes with his mace, and he's very well detailed and painted. Batman comes with accessories while being a newly tooled body. Great articulation, great look. He looks like your very definitive classic Batman. I should have picked up Riddler, soon as well, but don't worry, we'll see them next year on the channel. Uh, and that's all I got to say about these three figures. I really enjoy them, and they're probably some of my favorite DC Multiverse figures around. So let's get to the next figure. And for the last place, the 10th spot, I couldn't decide between this Black Widow and this Hush Superman. This is the reissue version, by the way. And I love this Superman figure. I wish I spared more time with Mafex to get more of their Mafex figures. I do be wanting to get Catwoman. I do be wanting to get Batman. I do be wanting to get Joker. Excuse me. All that good stuff. But there's a lot of things coming out at the same time. And the way I look at it, you know what I'm saying? I got DC Multiverse, cheaper, easily, you know, securable, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even sure securable is a word, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's easier to find DC Multiverse. And it's like, okay, if I don't get Catwoman, if I don't get the chance to get Joker or Batman, then I look at my DC Multiverse display and it's like, I always got that Nightfall Batman. I could always pick up the Superman that's coming out this upcoming year. I could always get, that Wonder Woman, it's a, so it's like import, great, amazing, love it. But when you have like a main line, like such as like Marvel Legends or DC Multiverse, or uh, Transformers, to where like you don't have to worry about imports or stress over the import variants, it's like it's okay. But what makes this Superman so special to me, and what makes me love this figure a lot, is my homie, my best friend, my brother from another mother, X-Man Collections got this for me. He knew how much I wanted this Superman. He knew that I was a big Superman fan. He knew how much I just wanted, one of the best 112 scale Superman figures of all time. And, he saw how hyped I was when I heard that they were getting a reissue. And, he bought this for me as a gift. And I thank him for it. I love him for it. I appreciate it so much. And just to have this Superman in hand, it was such a surreal experience. I couldn't believe that I had this figure in my hand. It was, you know, one of the greatest moments of my life, and it really brightened up, this year for me. And when it comes to this Black Widow is great. I see what people are talking about, similar to that, Jada Toys Ryu. I see what people are talking about. This is like one of the best, if not the greatest, female action figure that Marvel Legends has ever produced, and it's just a great piece. Lots of accessories, three different head sculpts, to capture the different eras of Natasha Romanoff, and I just love both of these figures, man. I couldn't pick one over the other. Superman, like I said, he has that sentimental value to him. He is, in my opinion, one of the greatest characters to ever be made. I like the depth that he has, accumulated over the years. Superman is also my dad's favorite superhero, so like we bonded over Superman, and it's just one of those things to where like this character has like an attachment to you. It's one of those things where you're attached to the character for a multitude of reasons, and then when you have like good representations of that action figure in your collection, it's just a much bigger deal. And so I have to say, Thank you, Pops, for getting me into Superman. Thank you very much. And thank you, X-Man Collections, also known as X, X-Man, thank you for getting me this figure. And Hasbro, thank you for producing one of the best Marvel Legends known to man. And I just want to say thank you all for your love and support. I appreciate you guys. You know, I can't thank God enough. You know what I'm saying? So I just appreciate every single one of you. I hope you guys had a good 2023, and hopefully you got all the figures that you were expecting or wanting, and hopefully they met your expectations. I can't wait to see what your guys' top 10 lists are looking like. I already seen some of them on the gram, and they looking pretty good. A lot of the people had like some of the same figures on their list that I have on mine, and so you know what I'm saying, great minds think alike. Good thing, we all have the same interest and we all thinking the same way, and we're all enjoying these figures to the same level. You know what I'm saying? So it's great. It's one of those things that brings the community together, and I'm just saying, man, I just thankful for it. I love you guys. Make sure you stay safe as we are approaching the new year, January 1st, 2024. And I wish you guys the best year ever. And whatever obstacles you go through, man, keep persevering, keep pushing through because in the end, it will pay off, man. So, yeah, thank you all again for all the love support. This has been Mr. Retro Reviews and signing off.